Joining us now is a columnist, conservative, works at the Washington Times, follows a lot of the undocumented controversies. Has a new book out, God Given or Bust, Defeating Marxism and Saving America with Biblical Truth. Cheryl Chumley joins us now from Virginia. All right, we'll get to the book in a moment. And taunting the opposition, that's what President Trump did last night. Do you think that was an effective strategy?
Trump was what Trump was, right? This is what he does. And I think most Trump supporters, and even those who don't support Trump, weren't surprised by the speech that he delivered last evening. I thought personally it was a little bit too long, but I think he made the key points that his base wanted to hear. And really, the more interesting takeaway to me was the Democrat response, much of which you went over in your talking points. But it continues today. We had Democrat Congresswoman from Texas calling Trump a fascist, and the mainstream media calling out Trump as being divisive and so forth. And I think this is the only narrative they have, that and talking about the price of eggs, because most Americans are in support of the America
Yeah,
First policy.
they got to gin it up, and that's a flu. The Washington Post, where you live, had an interesting headline. Let's throw that on up, and I'll read it to our radio listeners. Washington Post: defiant Trump signals full speed ahead on divisive policies. I thought the Washington Post was trying to moderate. That's a pretty explosive headline there. And then Time Magazine does what Time Magazine always does. Nobody reads it anymore. But the Washington Post is like, divisive. I think Joe Biden was pretty divisive. He didn't do anything, and the country went downhill. I mean, it divided me. But it doesn't look like the Washington Post is. It looks like they're the same old, same old. Am I wrong here?
No, you're not. I look forward to when Jeff Bezos hires his new libertarian leaning or more conservative leaning opinion editor for those pages, because they really do need it. And look, most Americans know by now the media is going to do what the media does with
Right.
Donald Trump, all things Trump. So this is not really news. The bigger news is how the administration is going to respond to the Democrats who keep resisting very in many unconstitutional ways against his agendas and policies. And
They
that's going to
don't
be.
have to respond, though. Trump doesn't have to respond to the Democrats other than to enforce the law. So I said that Michelle Wu better watch herself or she'll wind up in handcuffs, and Holman will probably go up there and put them on himself. But they're already suing the Trump administration, Chicago City, Chicago, state of Illinois, that's Pritzker. But as far as responding in a PR fashion, I think the folks are with Trump at this point. He's got to produce economically, though.
Yeah, economically is key. And you're right that most Americans are with Trump at this point because Democrats are just making ludicrous arguments. I listened to the opening statements of those four Democrat mayors testifying on their sanctuary policies. And one of the key talking points that they all brought forward in various language was that illegal immigrants in their city actually make their city safer, because if you deport the illegals, then illegals will be afraid to report crimes that they see to police.
Yeah, that's
I
an
mean, it
old
was
one.
a ridiculous argument, and
It's been
it
going on forever, right? Right. So
yeah.
we can't do anything about people here illegally because they may not report a crime. I think Americans, and all the polls say this, Cheryl, you know that. They want order in their immigration law. They want order. I mean, they're not looking for grandmas to be thrown out or any of this stuff. Trump's going to lose the birthright citizenship. The Supreme Court's never going to reverse that in a million years. It's a loser for him. But they don't want what Biden brought, and that's absolute chaos. When you see, you live near the District of Columbia, which Trump wants to take over, by the way, because it's so corrupt and so crime ridden, and they don't enforce any laws there. Or am I overstating that? I don't live there. Am I overstating that?
It's a little bit of a cesspool. So
Okay.
yeah, it's
So I think I have it right. Um, so Trump wants to take that over because it's federal. The District of Columbia is a federal governance situation, although the locals, they vote for their own people. when you see this kind of chaos from the left, and then the insensitivity that we pointed out, where they wouldn't even applaud Laken Riley's mom and sister, Hannity asked me today, is it the end of the Democratic Party? Are they so far out of touch they will never come back?
It's an interesting question, right? Because I think the Democrat Party has been going down this self-destructive path for many years. If you go back in time when Tom Perez was head of the DNC and he proclaimed Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez as the future of the party, I think that sort of made a marker in time of when the party really started falling. I don't think it's the end of the Democrat Party, but I do think that they're going to need a massive course correction because what they're offering is so against not just Republican agendas, but just against American agendas and
Traditional
principles.
American, no doubt. And that brings us to your book, God Given or Bust, Defeating Marxism, Saving America with Biblical Truths. So Ocasio-Cortez is a socialist. I mean, I don't know if she's a communist or not. I think Bernie Sanders is absolutely a communist. But Ocasio-Cortez, I'm not sure. I don't even know if she's sure because I don't think she even understands what the philosophy is she's peddling, but I could be wrong on that. Anyway, your book says, look, in order to defeat this movement, Sanders and Ocasio-Cortez, Elizabeth Warren, that you're going to need some kind of biblical help? Is that what it is?
Just go back in time to what founding fathers put forth in the Declaration of Independence, which was sort of the marching orders for the form of governance they gave us. That we hold these truths to be self-evident, right? We're granted by a creator, a higher power, certain unalienable rights. And so what, in essence, they were saying is, as an individual, we take our rights and liberties from a higher power, not government. So if we want to win long-term liberties and freedoms and rights in this country for the individual, we always have to remember it's not so much the political world that's going to win it for us. It's the insistence on whoever is in political power, Republican or Democrat, to recognize that our rights as individuals come from God.
A lot of people don't believe that. The book again is God Given or Bust by Cheryl Chumley. Cheryl, thanks for helping us out. Good to see you. We'll talk again soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on X. Look for @Bill O'Reilly.